Guys, welcome back to Here's Rodder's Reviews. We're doing Transformers Season 2 once more in this episode. This is the Master Builder, and in this episode, Grapple comes up with an idea for a solar energy tower, and he brings the idea to Optimus Prime, who congratulates him on a great idea, but he's like, perhaps he didn't think of the fact that the Decepticons might try to steal this energy tower. And looking at it from that perspective, Optimus Prime has to reject the idea, even though, the power it could give the Autobots could put the balance of the war in their favour. But it's just too much of a risk with Megatron and the Decepticons about. So, Powerglide has been shot down by Starscream and Skywarp, I want to say. For some reason I kind of mix up Skywarp and Thundercracker from time to time, even though they're completely different colours. It's Skywarp. And Grapple and Hoist head off to rescue him, make some repairs and get him back to base. And while they're there, Hoist and Grapple are chatting things over about the energy tower, and Grapple is feeling a little bit, I don't feel appreciated, is kind of his feeling in the whole thing. But Hoist is, trying to talk a bit of sense into him, backing up Optimus Prime. Prime was right to do what he did. There'll be other towers and other things that we can build. And when they're on the return journey, they come across the Constructicons. Now, the Constructicons know what is going on. They've heard some of the conversation that's happened between the two of them. And they tell them, okay, look, we're no longer working for the Decepticons. He doesn't appreciate us either. We're breaking out on our own, essentially, and we like the sound of this solar energy tower. We'll help you build it, sort of a thing. And of course, Hoist and Grapple don't trust them. They're Constructicons, they're Decepticons at heart, and they're like, we need some sort of proof that you're telling the truth here. So the Constructicons say, okay, we'll get you proof. They leave, go back to Decepticon headquarters, but Megatron has been spying on them also. He's not happy at the news that these Decepticons of his are turncoats traitors, and he's waiting at Decepticon headquarters with Starscream and the other Decepticons ready, weapons trained, ready to take the Constructicons out. But the Constructicons are like, you know what, Megatron, we're still working for you, but we've seen the potential of what these two Autobots can do. They can build this solar energy tower for us. We can use that power to destroy the Autobots, but they don't trust us, so we need something to show them that they can trust us. And Megatron is like, well done, Constructicons, but don't you dare turn on me, sort of thing. But if you need something to prove that they can trust you, you need to take them my most prized possession. So he gives them a whole load of Energon cubes, enough Energon cubes to actually build the tower. So the Constructicons go back, present this to Hoist and Grapple, and they all pitch in together to build this tower. So back at Autobot headquarters, there's a good few comedy sequences with Optimus Prime and the rest of the Autobots. They're getting taught how to play basketball by Spike, and somebody mentions that, where's Hoist and Grapple at? It's tracks, need some repair work done. But he's like, I'm having a heck of a time trying to get an appointment with Hoist these days. So they send Powerglide out to see if he can find them, and he finds them with the Constructicons building this solar energy tower. And the Constructicons, Hoist and Grapple, they're all getting on like best friends. They're really, as far as Hoist and Grapple are concerned, they're really kind of, part of the gang here, sort of a thing. And Grapple is getting a little bit too big for his boots in this episode. Whenever this tower is finished, one of the, write my name across it in huge letters. But of course, when the tower is completed, Megatron turns up, the Constructicons turn on them, and they're imprisoned within the tower itself. And of course, the Autobots show up shortly after, and the final confrontation of this episode happens between the Autobots and the Decepticons. It's a pretty good fight sequence in this episode, and of course, Constructicons can transform into Devastator, so he makes an appearance. And the Autobots always have a heck of a time trying to beat Devastator, but they manage to use Devastator's strength to their own advantage, and it's actually Devastator ends up destroying the energy tower for them. So Megatron, at the end of the episode, is like, Autobots, I'm going to get my one back on you, and he retreats along with the rest of the Decepticons, including the Constructicons, and Grapple and Hoist are dug out of the wreckage of the tower. So Grapple has to face Optimus Prime now for having not done what he was told, and Optimus Prime being the leader with years of wisdom behind him. He knows exactly how to deal with someone, and it's, forgiveness is the superpower of the Autobots, really. Anybody that has an ounce of goodness in them, they can forgive quick. And Optimus Prime is always good at doing that, and he's like, apologies accepted. But when we go back to Autobot headquarters and get whatever repairs done to the troops, you two, Hoist and Grapple, are going to come back here and clean up the mess of this tower on your own. So that's pretty much where the episode finishes off. This is an immensely good little episode. I really did enjoy this one, but it wasn't the episode I was thinking on when I seen the title of it. And I don't know why I was stupid enough to actually think this, but there's a season 3 episode that kind of skipped into my mind when I seen the title, The Master Builder. But of course, it's season 2, so it's the original Transformers before Transformers the movie and the new toy line. So it's between season 2 and season 3, it's a completely different setup, But this episode is absolutely fantastic, and great little moral to the story right there is, be careful who you trust.